in town. We have quite a team of WAMSB officials and personnel here, and I'll introduce some of those to you today. But first of all, I want to thank the city of Buchanan for hosting this event. I love little towns. I grew up in a small little town in Texas, much like this, and you know everybody that grows up there and everybody that works there, and so it's good because it takes a village to raise a kid, doesn't it? And everybody's watching out for everybody. Test, we're back on the air, good. Okay, so anyway, we're happy to be here, and I'm not Randy Sanders, so don't expect the announcing that you got last night. That was fabulous. That was a great event, beautiful way to open the ceremony. So let me tell you a little bit who's here in your city, because this is very interesting. We have people from all parts of the world. Our judges today, young man up here from Slippery Rock, Mr. Helmick, right there waving, and then in the middle is Rick Good from Auburn University. They let him Alabama on the weekend pass out of Alabama. And then we have Brian Ingleson, who's from Canada, via Canada. He's down in Palm Springs. And Brian is one of our judges today. Also, in the audience today, we have two gentlemen visiting from Denmark. They're here to look at the festival and how it works. Henning Skovenberg, where's Henning? Right up there. And Kevin Anderson. And then we also have our German, our Stefan and Torsten here. They'll be a little later. We have two visiting personnel from Germany who just hosted a championship in Resti, Germany last week. Stefan and Torsten, we'll meet them a little later. So we have quite a panel. Our supervising judge today is John Phillips. John works with DCI, Drum Corps International, and he's here to keep these guys in line up there. John Phillips. So we have some spouses from some of our other judges. Also, we have Dieter Buschau from Germany. Dieter is going to be one of our field judges today, and his wife Angelica. And we have Jim Ford. Where's Jim? Maybe he's going to the other. And we have everybody scattered. Jim Ford and his wife Maureen are here. So you have people visiting Buchanan from all over the world. Isn't that cool? And it was so nice last night to watch the bands parade by from Honduras, El Salvador, Sweden, Switzerland, the band from Ghana, West Africa. I mean, who would have thought that all these people would have come to Buchanan? And you're such a gracious host. And thank you for coming this morning. Sometimes these events aren't well attended. I fully expected we'd have a good crowd, and we do. So thank you. Show your appreciation for all these kids. The first band is the Wooden Brass Band from Poland. And as you know, they arrived, but their luggage did not, nor their instruments. So that's tough. But the communities around Buchanan and yourselves have been very gracious in loaning them instruments. And I suspect some clothing. I don't know how that's working. I've been there with my band. I'm from Texas Tech, and on the WAMSB jury panel also I'm announcing today, which is a good job. But I had a student leave a bag in Frankfurt, Germany, so everybody was giving him underwear and jeans and shoes. It worked. So his bag was in Odessa waiting for him when he got back after the trip. So hopefully the Polish clan will have their belongings soon. The Wooden Brass Band is directed by Christopher Sefion, and you're going to hear some different things today, not full instrumentation bands. Some are just like you heard last night, the piccolo band and drum. I was in Germany and Poland last week. We heard just brass bands, just drum bands. I've seen accordion bands. I mean, the world is a big place and everybody does things differently. So that's the unique thing about bringing them all together. They qualify at their local events, and if they make a certain score, then they're eligible to come to the world. Of course, many of them can't because of passports, visas, financial concerns. There's just a lot of pieces to the puzzle to put together when you're organizing a group trip. So the bands that have come here have worked very hard, raising not only money, but jumping through all the hoops, jumping through all the security at passport and customs. I mean, it's a nightmare when you're traveling with a group. So there was a really fine band from Venezuela that was supposed to be here, and he was looking so forward to it, and he's in deep despair because they couldn't get visas. They would only give them, I think, 50 visas, and he has like 100 or so in his band, and so that wasn't going to work. So hopefully he'll be at the one in Germany next year with his group. They saved the funds. So I just want you to know the struggles that these kids go through. And not all kids. As you see, most of the bands in the world are not school bands like we're accustomed to. They're community bands, and they range in ages from 7 to 65, in Poland a couple of weeks ago. You see this gentleman walking down the street with a tuba. He's probably 75 years old, my age. And then you see a little kid right next to him playing a trombone. So it's really neat. They're community bands. They meet maybe once or twice a week. They don't have everyday rehearsals like we do. They don't have access to a lot of the equipment that we do. So we accept everybody. It's a one world thing, and we judge them on what they do and how they do it. So it doesn't matter what they do, it's how they do it. So they could get up here and do a dance with a piccolo, and if it's done well, they get a good score. So sort of kind of understand what the system is now. There are 4 events. We're going to have it started with a concert band this morning. Then we have the drum battle tonight. We have a street parade, and we have a field parade, and then we have a field show. I guess that's 5 events. So everybody gets points, and I guess the grand champion will be, all the points will be added up. That's how that works. Any questions? Sure, yeah. Just no flashes, don't want to distract the performers. I'm stalling in case you're interested. The Polish band is getting some last minute equipment. So I guess I could tell you a joke. I guess you can understand my dialect from Texas. I have to say that John Denver went to Texas Tech. So we always tell our West Virginia friends that, yeah, you got the song, but we got the guy. Who was kicked out of the Texas Tech band because he had long hair. He played baritone. He wouldn't cut his hair, so they said, you're gone. And that was before my time. But little side story there. So this duck walks into a convenience store. He goes, quack, quack, got any grapes? And the guy says, no, we don't have any grapes, and we don't serve ducks. You need to leave, don't come back. Next day, the duck sneaks in through the electronic door. Quack, quack, got any grapes? The guy says, no, we don't have any grapes, and I told you not to come back. You come back again, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. Next day, the duck came, quack, quack, got any nails? The store says, no, we don't have any nails. He said, got any grapes? Simple little story, clean story, not offensive to anyone. Hopefully no one's offended. If you are, tough. Hello. They should be coming soon. So this band actually was in Germany a week ago. I lost count. But good, okay? So the wood and brass, you don't see any wood, but it's woodwinds is what they're talking about there. Okay, woodwind and brass band from Poland under the direction of Christopher Sifian, and he's going to be coming out in a moment. And oftentimes you'll see their directors on concert stage. They'll be also leading the band as a drum major. So they do things a little different than we're accustomed to. So just know that, and then you don't have to say, what's he doing that. Okay? So we have some late minute additions on instruments this morning. The gentleman brought some saxophones in for these youngsters. What it's like traveling to a foreign country. If some of you have done that, I'm sure, and you go to a country and you look, I don't know that word. Well, you can imagine what they're going through and learning. Fortunately, many of the youngsters know English. They take English in school. So when we go to Poland and the words are this long with a lot of S, K, Y's, and Z's and W's, it's very difficult. But they've overcome all that. So they're going to be performing for us this morning. 3 pieces. The first one is the Best of Ed Sheeran, written by Peter Kleiner Shars. He's from the Netherlands. The Lion King by our own John Higgins, and Show Unity by Powell Studio. So, Christian, are you ready? Please welcome to the stage Christopher. Silence your cell phones.
we are waiting for our musical sheets. They are right now printing. And now we have to decide. We play from our remembrances or we are waiting 2 minutes for musical sheets. Please forgive us our uniforms, but it's a situation we couldn't do nothing with it, unfortunately. So we will wait, I hope, 1 or 2 minutes for musical sheets. Could we?
Yeah, wait a few more minutes.
Okay.
Somebody wants to print the music for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dr. Palmer is printing our musical sheets right now.
We'll wait.
Okay. Thank you. And I would like to just, with my band, with Utan Brasman from Poland, just very heartily thank you for all of you, and especially for Bekenan community for very kind help, very heartful guests for us, and it's really impressive, and we appreciate it so much. Thank you so much.
I bet next time they travel, they'll be told to wear black slacks, a white shirt, carry an extra pair of underwear, toothbrushes, warm pajamas. Hey, look, look at those shirts on it. It's a nice shirt.
It's a piece for the audience.
test. There we go. So they're waiting for some music to be copied. You can imagine everything's lost. They lost some music probably, but they're waiting. We're waiting on the Lion King to arrive. Yes.
We are afraid the sheets will not work. So, our decision is to play without musical sheets. We hope we do.
Oh, they're going to play it without the music for the percussion. Oh, the percussion can do it.
We will try.
Yes. Thank you for country road. Thank you, wooden brass band from Poland. Didn't you enjoy those faces and those smiles? Great job. Thank you very much. You know, music is a universal language. Isn't that incredible? They pick up instruments they've never seen, and they tune up and they play. It's wonderful. So, what in the world, what are the judges looking for? Some of you might not know this. I'll just kind of give you an overview. So there are three basic things. First one is tone. Next one is musicianship, well, technique, and then musicianship. So under tone, the judges are looking for good characteristic sounds on the instruments, good tone quality, playing in tune, not with only your section, but playing in tune with the other sections in the band. So there's a pitch center, tone quality, and a tuning center in the band. The next big thing is technique. Do they articulate or tongue all the notes together the same way, the same length, short or long? Technique. And do they have the technical facility to play all the fast notes? And are they able to handle that with note accuracy, the correct notes? So the correct note in the right place. So it's a big challenge when you're looking at dots on a page, and many of you have been in bands, so you understand this. So it's a strange language if you've never read music. You're looking at a dot on the page, and it's on a staff, and it's either sharp or flat or natural, and they have to put that note in the right place, in the right rhythm. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot of processing going on when students are performing in a band. And the third area is musicianship. And I think you all felt a little tingle in your heart in a couple of places in there. So they projected the emotion of the piece and gave it musicality. They shaped the phrases, and it was meaningful to you. The other way, if it's not emotional and pretty, it's exciting and energetic, and I think you felt that. We certainly did on Country Road. So they did a great job of projecting those elements of performance. So that's kind of what this is about, and some bands do it a little stronger than others. Some bands have more maturity, and you can tell we have youngsters in here, we have older people, but they blended together nicely. And all across the world, I've found that you put an instrument in a student's hands, and they just brighten up. And when they learn to play it, it's a life-lasting thing. And the uniform, you know, hopefully their uniforms will be here by the time the other events happen, but keep our fingers crossed. Okay, so that's sort of that in a nutshell. That's what the judges are looking for. They'll confer, and after they've written down their scores, and they'll see if they're together. I think they will be. These guys are experienced. So the next band, here in a little bit, and I'm not going to be able to fill up all this time. I only have so many corny jokes. But, we'll wait. The next band is going to be from Honduras. One of, and there are only 8 bands today, so don't panic. We understand the mind cannot absorb what the bottom cannot endure, so it'll be short and sweet. So we have the first 3 bands, that one and 2 more, then there's a break because one band is not able to be here. So we have 3 bands, and then 3 bands, and 2 bands, so 8 bands total. So stay here and support these people. You see, did you see their face brighten when you stood up and they were standing on it? Do it for every band, what the heck, you know? And it's good to stand up and wiggle and stretch, you know? And they appreciate it. You could see them just beam. And they were so happy that they pleased you with their music. As I said, they don't always have school systems where our students grow up in a middle school, and they have beginner band, then they go to intermediate band, then they go to high school, and they have a developmental process where they're being taught how to play the instrument, how to do performance fundamentals and ensembles and everything. In places like Poland or other places, they have, like I said, community bands, and sometimes they get private instruction from a local person or the conductor perhaps, or an older student. I know in Japan, they simply go with the senpai kohai, where the older student teaches the younger student, and that's the way it happens. And that's the way it happens across the world. Okay, so next band is getting their setup ready. Let me introduce them. It's the Bethel from Honduras, connected by Eduardo and Wendy Gomez. I think brother and sister. I think that's what I heard. And they're gonna play some rocky music from Santana. Everybody knows Santana, written by Carlos Santana, Malagueña, and Medley Fiesta. So this is gonna be exciting music. And we're gonna enjoy this just a moment. All the way from Honduras. This gentleman made a great speech last night. I think he kind of does everything. Oh, and like the trumpet, so it's okay to, in a concert band setting, if a soloist, if they play a solo, it's okay to go ahead and clap. Let that student or that adult know that what they did was appreciated. That's okay, it's cool. We're all friends. We want to be encouraging and positive, and that helps them play better. Just from a director's point of view, this took a lot of work in getting a concert uniform here and a marching uniform and the instrument and their luggage. So congratulations to this person, making the extra effort to do that. I think it just stays. I think it's just take it off. There you go. Just do that. I'll turn mine off so yours.
thank you. Honduras is known by its culture, traditions, myth, and most of all by its people. It is formed by different ethnic groups such as Mayan Chortis, Tolupanes, Chorotegas, Mezquitos, and something called the Garifunas, which have created a rhythm and which has allowed their music to transcend the borders of Honduras. That's the reason why we're proudly to present to you, ladies and gentlemen, La Punta from the Bethel Marching Band.
Muchas gracias para tu atención. Thank you very much. Wasn't that fun? Yes, that was fun. Great job. From Honduras, So just a reminder, if you need to go to the restroom, I don't know if there are concession stands or not, probably not, but anyway, please enter and exit in between the band's performances. We don't want to distract the performers on stage, so if you'll just keep that in mind. I know I'm preaching to the choir, you're already in here, but we don't have any door guards out there, so maybe we could put a sign out there. Is Mr. Winter here? Someone could put a sign on the door, please enter only, in between performance would be nice. Okay, so the next band up is another band from Honduras, the Cortegas Latin Band. So it looks like joke time. Have you heard the one about the duck going, oh, we told that one. Okay. I don't want to use all my ammunition early, but we have a little stall time here. So, any questions about performances? You know, another thing the judges listen for is transparency. You know, the conductor looks at the score, and the conductor sees all the parts, from piccolo all the way down to timpani. Every part is on the conductor's score. The students just have their part, of course. So it's very important that as the judges are listening to a group, that they can hear all those parts. Transparency, we call that balance. So you balance within your section and you balance across the ensemble. So it's very transparent and clear. It's like looking through a window, and if it's really dirty and hazy and cloudy, you can't see all the detail. And that's sort of like listening to a band. If you can't hear all the parts, it's sort of confusing. So we want to look through the window and see the trees, the bird, the cloud, whatever, the drone, you know, whatever's out there. So that's another thing that judges listen for, is balance in the band and excitement. We certainly had that. So there's this man and woman happily married for 50 years. Every day they took a walk down to the park. And so one day they said, let's go a different way. Let's go by the school. We haven't been by there in a long time. So they went by this school, had a really high fence to protect the students. And so as they got nearer, they would hear the students in the courtyard saying, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12. What's going on? So they went onto the park. A couple hours they came back by and they kept hearing 12, 12, 12, shouting over and over. So the guy said, I'm going to go over and see what's going on. And he looked through a little peephole, and a finger poked him in the eye, and he heard 13, 13, 13, 13. So students are very innovative. You've got to be very careful. That's like these soloists that stand up there without music. They're improvising. So they're taking the basic tune, and they're improvising extra notes. So sometimes you hear a jazz solo, and you say, man, that doesn't make any sense to me. But they're creating that in their mind. They're taking the basic melody and then improvising extra notes by adding rhythm and other notes. So it's very creative when they stand up and play a jazz solo, like this group just did. Sometimes a soloist will stand up and they're playing a written part, and that's okay too. And they're judged on how well they play it, beauty, style, and so on. But in improv, it's how well they stay in the key signature, if they're playing the right notes in the key and improvising in a soloist. And these two gentlemen certainly did a great job with that. So hopefully this is not just a come and sit. Hopefully you get a little education on what we're listening for in concert bands. And then similarly in marching bands, there are other details we'll talk about later. I may not try to educate the audience quite so much on that tonight, but any questions? We want you to enjoy this time here in Buchanan and your beautiful facility here at the Wesleyan University. Really excellent. If anyone has any questions, I'll attempt to answer. If not, I'll fake it. Okay, the judges are putting their scores together. They're not using pencil and paper. There's a new program called Competition Suite, and they can record their comments. They're recording their comments into a speaker or in their iPhone or whatever they have, or an iPad, and they're recording the comments as the band performs. It's live time. So the director will get those 3 recordings, and he'll be able to hear the comments about what they're doing in specific places in the music, which is a very neat program. After the band performs, then the judges write down a score, what they did, how they did it. And then those scores feed automatically to the master schedule, and it's all calculated in a spreadsheet. It's all added up, and there are no numbers added. It's automatic. So those scores go directly to the directors, the recordings, and then the overall recap sheet at the end of the festival will push a button and all the results go to the conductors and whoever they put on their list to receive those. So it's a very neat way of judging. We're glad they're doing that here in Buchanan. You know, Randy and Lee, those guys have worked so hard to put this together. I know they probably grew up here and you all know them. You know, back when they were, you know, lighting fires and breaking windows and doing all the things teenagers are not supposed to do. But what a great ambassador for your city. He came to WAMSB, like I say, 2.5 years ago and presented a plan and everybody liked that. And, you know, I found judging across the world, in Japan and Malaysia and Thailand and Philippines and Hong Kong and Brazil, all those places, the little towns seem to be more fun. Now the big city, you've got the traffic, you've got the issues with even getting to a place on time. And they're not, they don't have any skin in the game. In Buchanan, this is bringing business to your town, it's bringing notoriety, and it's certainly exposing the world to little town America, which, like I said earlier, I'm from a small town, and I think this is great. So we find that the small town is excellent. Last week or two in Restede, Germany, which is up in what they call Lower Saxony, northern part of Germany, near Hamburg, Germany. They had a great festival, and the two gentlemen that hosted that are here this week. I'm not sure where they are this morning. I think they came this morning to the concert, and they'll be at the parade and everything. But they hosted a great event. Restede is a little larger than Buchanan, but the community turned out. Now, different in Germany, lots of beer drinking, lots of brats, lots of fun. I mean, it was a fest from the word go. If you can imagine Oktoberfest in July, they had it. It was just different. You go to different parts of the world, they celebrate differently, but it was really fun. So small towns are fun for us to visit, and to think that these guys flew in from Malaysia and from Germany and everywhere to be in Buchanan. That's really cool. It's exciting to hear these bands from Honduras. And their ethnic style of the last piece they played, that was really fun and very enjoyable. We're going to hear some more. I know that the Polish band was preparing Country Roads a couple of weeks ago over in Germany. I heard them play it there, and I thought, oh, that's cool. They're going to play that. People are going to go crazy. And so you did, and that's what you're supposed to do. Enjoy, because they worked hard on that. You know, and they even knew the words. That was what was cool. Did you see them singing? Yeah. And then the dancers that came out with this band from Honduras, local flavor, that's very, very cool. So, fun things. We're ready? Oh, Mr. Wynn, do you have a door guard? Yeah. So, did you go out transplant? Where are you from? Philadelphia. Is that near Dallas? Hey, could you put a door guard out there so people don't come in during the performance? Yeah, you're a good man. Thank you, Lee. Okay, we have the next band coming on stage. Corategas, Latin band from Honduras. Their director is Wilmer Matamoros. And they're styling in their uniforms and green ties, looking good. I see some conga drums. This is going to be exciting. Going to be exciting. Not one set, but 3 sets. I've never seen first, second, and third conga drums, but we're going to have it. Now you got to smile. And I've never seen such beautiful dresses. And the Cortegas Latin Band from Honduras will play Goscaron by Luis Silva, arranged by Jorge Montoya, Mambo 5 by Perez Brado, arranged by Mario Medina, and Mi Viela Asora de Caracol, I think, arranged by Jorge Montoya. Let's welcome again the band from Honduras. We wish you the best. Thank you. Muchas gracias. How cute. Exciting. I'd like to interview those two little girls in the front row flute. They couldn't understand me probably. That was fun. Thank you for being a great audience. We have a break now. The next band from Ghana is not going to perform, so we won't move the next band up because of transportation. So take about a 30-minute break and shake each other's hands, meet the people on your right and left, go to the restroom, fabulous facilities, or just relax. We're going to come on in just a few minutes. They're backstage waiting. So thank you very much for your patience, and I hope you enjoyed a little break. Many of you have come up and offered to help the Polish band, and that's really, really courteous and generous of you. Good news is their luggage arrived. Unloading the suitcase. The bad news is the instruments have not arrived, but the good people of Buchanan and surrounding communities gave them instruments, and they sounded great this morning on those instruments, so if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But at least they have their luggage. Can you imagine? You know, all the personal things. So we're excited. Okay, the next band, let's bring them on the stage. We have a band from Honduras. This one is Banda Juvenile Philharmonia. The tuba player never gets clapped for. He's always last in line. So only the flutes. We'll wait till they get on stage and give them a warm West Virginia welcome. And thank you for not entering or leaving during a band's performance. In between tunes, that's cool if you need to pop out. Oh, hello, there we go. Seeing a young lady carrying the sousaphone reminds me of being a band director, trying to talk to little kids about, yeah, you really would enjoy playing that sousaphone. Bigger than I am. But you'll grow into it, right? They always do. So you've seen a wide range of ages. You saw little girls, their feet didn't touch the floor in that last one. Well, it's awesome. I have an 8-year-old granddaughter, and I can see that happening. Very good. The concert master, give him a tuning note. So, yes. So the next band is under the leadership of Mr. Jackson Burke. They're going to play Los Pericos by Herrera, arranged by Herrera, Potpourri, a Honduran folk song, and Rico Mambo by Herrera. Let's welcome one more time.
The first piece is a potpourri medley of the reggae.
Okay,
The first piece.
a medley of Honduran folk songs.
Yeah. No, the full song is
Three songs in there. Okay. Okay, very good. So let's give them one more welcome. Great job, muchas gracias. And their friends from South America, Central America are supporting their friends. That's awesome. The neat thing about these events is all the bands get together and activities. I think there's something planned for them, and that's really neat. You see all the countries coming together. As I said a while ago, if the world could be run by the people and not the governments, wouldn't it be a happy place? Yeah, everybody just wants to have fun. So that was awesome. Now, how many were tapping their toes at some point? If you're not, you need to go to the doctor, because that was toe tapping music and puts a smile on your face. Just what a wonderful opportunity to hear other cultures' music and their traditions. That's really awesome. So I think we have a lunch break now?
Yes, yes.
Well, I get to save my jokes until this afternoon. Yes, the next band is at 1 o'clock, and it's a band from Sweden. So on the list this afternoon, we have the band from Sweden, El Salvador, and Switzerland, and Hong Kong. This will be a great lineup this afternoon. Please come back after you enjoy lunch, and be safe. Thank you. And from Sweden, who you saw last night at the opening ceremonies, we'll go home. A band from Sweden. Their director is Magnus Fransson. And they're going to play Uptown Funk, Sir Duke, and then a very special song again that I will introduce before that last piece. So how many returned from this morning? How many new ones for this afternoon? Okay, the rules. Laugh at my bad jokes. And we're going to give applause if you hear a soloist. We want to clap and encourage them, and at the end we all stand up and be happy, okay? Because they feed off of that. They want to please you, so let's show them that they did. And we ask you not to enter or leave during performances. In between is fine. Turn off your cell phone so we don't have your best friend calling during the concert. I know you know that. They'll be out just a moment, and we'll give them a round of applause when they enter. My name is Keith Bearden. I'm from Texas Tech. I'm on the WAMSB board, and really honored to be here, serving as an announcer rather than a judge today. I'd like to introduce our judge panel to you. We have over here Jonathan Helmick, and he's the band director at Slippery Rock. Yeah, let's give him a hand. In the middle is Rick Good. He's the brother of Johnny B. Good. He's from Auburn University over in Alabama. And then Mr. Brian Engelson, who's recently retired. He was the director of bands at Palm Springs High School in beautiful Palm Springs, California. And Brian hosted the first USA World Championship in Palm Springs. So this is the other coast now, the left coast and the right coast. So we're welcoming Brian here. You may ask, why don't we host more of these in the U.S.? Well, we have so many fine bands, and they don't meet in the summer. And all the WAMSB events are in the summer. The rest of the world's on opposite schedules. So they enjoy coming to the USA, so that's why we decided to start having events here. It's very difficult to get American bands because they're not in session. So you understand that. Those that are, they beg and plead, can you come march a parade? You know, whoever's in town, and not grandma or something. But anyway, it's great to have all these countries here in Buchanan, and it's been a great time. We've enjoyed the community. The outpouring of generosity has been amazing. The little Polish band that played this morning, their luggage finally arrived this afternoon. And it was so wonderful how many people were coming up offering to buy, personal hygiene products or whatever, your medicines, eye drops, but they all came. They didn't get their instruments yet, but thankfully we have good instruments. Okay, we'll start welcoming them. This is the Ängelholm Concert Band from Sweden, and their conductor is coming out, Mr. Magnus Fransson. evidently had a miscommunication on Sir Duke. Okay. Next, we have Gabriella's song. This is written by Stefan Nielsen, arranged by Magnus Franson, our conductor. And our soloist is Nellie Person. laughs after. You don't know how difficult that is for a young lady to stand up there in front of all these strange people looking at you, and she just performed her heart. So beautiful. Thank you for that response. As I was saying earlier, we have all these people from all over the world visiting your beautiful village, town, American small town. We love it. I introduced our judges. We also have other adjudicators here judging other events. We have one from the Netherlands, one from Germany. I think Germany, Dieter is here from Germany, right back here. Dieter Buschau, and also Jimmy Wong from Malaysia. We have our two friends from Denmark you met this morning. We also have two other gentlemen from Resti, Germany, who ran a great contest 2 weeks ago in their city, and they're hosting the 24 World Championships in Resti, Germany. That's west of Hamburg, right here. Where'd they go? Oh, I saw the red shirt, I took the bait. Okay, they were here earlier. Torsten and Stefan, you'll meet them at some point. But anyway, we have two representatives from Germany and two from Denmark who are watching how the WAMSB event is run. Again, we're honored to be here, thanks to Randy Sanders and all the work that he's done in his committee. So, yes. And also, this beautiful facility here at West Virginia Wesleyan, what great facilities for an event like this. The students are in the dorms, they're eating here. I asked the conductor from the Sweden band where they were staying, and they were in a hotel. They took a hotel, all the rooms. How cool is that? So what a great boom for the community to have all these people here. And who could imagine all these people from different countries, all over the world, coming to Buckingham because of that guy right there. Yeah, you did it. So half of you were not here this morning. Raise your hands again if you were not here this morning. Okay, so well, I get to repeat a joke. Good. And Randy didn't hear this, so this will be good. This is called time killer. You know, in marching band, you follow the leader to kill the clock, you know. If you run out of drill ideas, you follow the leader for a long time. Well, in this type of thing, you have to fill the time people go to sleep or leave. So this duck wandered into, I know you people have heard it, just ignore it. Or maybe you forgot it and you can write it down to tell your friends. So Randy, this duck walked into a convenience store and he goes, quack, quack, got any grapes? The guy says, no, we don't have any grapes and we don't serve ducks. Get out of here and don't come back. Next day, same time, the door opens and the duck sneaks in. Quack, quack, got any grapes? And the store owner says, no, we don't have any grapes. And you come back, I'm going to nail your feet to the floor. Third day, the duck sneaks in. Got any nails? The store owner says, no, we don't have any nails. I told you, I'm going to get out of here. Got any grapes? He didn't have nails, so I messed that up. At any rate, as King Henry VIII told his wives, I shall not keep you long, but I will tell you a few more. That was a good one. So, let's see, Randy, do you have any good West Virginia jokes that I don't know? Are they presentable? We have a mixed crowd.
No.
Well, I have one more for our new people. Oh, they're already leaving. So this is the way this is going to be. I understand. Should I tell you one? All right, come on down, Randy. Yeah. This is joke time.
If I can remember it, you know.
The next band is from El Salvador, and they're warming up and getting ready to come on in. So
You probably heard it. You know, there's always someone in a small town that knows everything. They absolutely know everything about everybody. They're the go-to person, you know. And one day he came down to the center part of town to the post office, and he noted this funeral procession coming down the middle of the street. And he was shocked because he didn't know about a funeral. And the hearse is going by, and behind the hearse is a man walking, and behind the man is, you know, just several other people. And all men. They just couldn't figure it out. Why would a family have a family of just all men? So he said, you know, I gotta go over and ask this guy. Well, what's going on? He said, well, my mother-in-law died. Your mother-in-law? I said, yeah. I said, well, how'd she die? She said, my dog bit her and killed her. And he said, really? How to get a dog like that? He goes, get in line. You're in trouble.
That may have offended some mother-in-laws. Okay, so I was talking to the audience this morning, and if you've heard this, just ignore, but for the new people. So what are the judges listening for in a concert setting? They're listening for basic things such as, and you heard some really good demonstration up here of these qualities. In tone, there's a section called tone, and the judges are listening for balance and clarity of all the parts, where you can hear everything. It's very transparent. And then they're listening for intonation. Everybody's playing in tune with their sections, and then across the ensemble in tune with good balance. So that's very important, and they're making good characteristic sounds. I heard some really beautiful sounds all morning, heard some really beautiful sounds in this band of characteristic sounds. It's not forced or out of tune. And the second area they look for is technique. Does the band have the technical facility to play the fast notes and all that? Good articulation, tonguing of the notes. Are the notes long or short? How do they blend together? Is everybody in every section of the ensemble matching articulation across the band? Sometimes you'll hear one group play one style and another section play another style. Well, that doesn't work. They've got to play the same style. So judges are listening for that. And then the third group is musicianship. And you heard a shining example of that, where you feel the emotion of the music and the musical phrases and how that music comes across to the audience. And you saw that on when Nellie performed so beautifully. Everybody felt it right here. So that's the emotion and the musicality. So that's an important thing also. When you get to the marching field parade show, field parade today on the field, that's something you've probably never seen. I hadn't seen it before I started judging for WAMSB, but they follow a parade route. It's very popular in Europe, and they have to do turns, left turn, right turns, and they have to play while they're maneuvering, and it's just very interesting. You'll see it. The cones are out there on the field, and they have to follow an exact route. And then, of course, the street parade, you know what that's about. Hip, hip, hooray, and everything. That's tomorrow, I think the next day. And then the field show, which is a halftime show type thing, or a contest show that they perform. So there are several different categories they can enter. Some groups will enter one, some two, some will enter all of them. And you're going to see some great bands in those environments also. Some of these will do that also today and tonight in the prelims. So the next band is from El Salvador, and I'll wait just a moment, have a little bit of time. See how much time we do have, so I can see how long the joke should be. Okay. So I went to a doctor, and he said, "Doctor, something's wrong. I keep singing the green grass at home, just whistling all the time." And the doctor said, "Well, you have Tom Jones syndrome." He said, "Well, is that common?" He said, "Doctor, it's not unusual." Some of the younger people said, "Who is that? Who's Tom Jones?" Well, that was for the older group.
Of age, yeah.
Another good one. Should I say this? I'll go ahead and do it. So this guy was stranded on an island for like 20 years. Beard was long, hadn't had any company, just by himself. And the cruise ships would pass by, the airplanes would fly over, nobody's seen. Finally, a cruise ship came close enough to the island that he waved them down. They sent a boat over, brought the guy back, and the captain says, "My goodness, how long have you been here?" He says, "I know, I've lost count, but many, many years." And he said, "Are you by yourself?" He said, "Yes, I am." And the captain says, "Well, I see 3 huts over there." And the guy said, "Well, the first one is where I live." "Oh, okay." He said, "Well, what's the second one?" He said, "Well, that's my church." He said, "Well, what's the third one?" He said, "Well, that's the church where I used to go." People switching. Okay, so enough of that. corny stuff. John Phillips, who is with Drum Corps International, is serving as our supervising judge today, and he's coordinating all the figures and numbers that come in to the judges, and those are all put onto a spreadsheet and calculated, and the different scores, you know, for different bands, and then that's all put in the pot with the other bands who come up with a grand champion. Are we about ready?
Nope.
Bail me out here. John, you want to make a speech? Open mic. It is a good audience. You know, we were always concerned that, well, people won't come to the concert because they don't, you know, it's more fun to go to the marching band, but thank you for being here. It means so much to these performers, and I want to say students every time, but they're not all students. Some of them are older people in the community. I was talking to our colleague from Denmark this morning, and his band in Denmark rehearses 1 time a week, 2 hours on one evening. And he has a range from 8 years old to 28 years old. Some, you'll see some that are older than 60 in the groups. But they enjoy music and they keep playing, and they in turn help teach the others, the younger ones, how to play. And you saw the band from Honduras this morning, the 2 little flute players, their feet didn't even hit the floor. How cute was that? And so the music is the universal language, and to see these bands come in and project what their culture is and their history and their traditions and how they play and how people respond, they are very pleased the way you're responding, and they need that. So you can see when you clap, their faces light up and the tears flow. Did you see that? That was awesome. And so we're a great audience, and we need that to support our musicians and keep this event going. And music's about the only thing that's good, I think, sometimes. That's going on. There are a lot of good things. Unfortunately, you don't hear it on the news. You only hear the bad things. But how unfortunate it is for the major news networks to not see what's going on, to have all these countries represented in West Virginia. Yeah, local news will pick it up, but why not the big networks? This is good. This is good. Good things are happening. And it's happening all across everywhere. Everybody has band competitions, choir competitions, orchestra, marching bands. Unfortunately, those kids who put out all the work don't get all the credit that they need. And so that's a positive thing that we could be talking about in our news. It'd be a lot more fun. I might even start watching the news again instead of YouTube. Yep. Okay, so enough of that. That got a little close to politics. So this next band, they're going to play 3 pieces. Canto Tropico, Mapiz, and Cumbachero. So you're in for another treat from a Central American band. El Salvador, we had 3 from Honduras this morning. And I told you 5 left. There's only 3 left. The El Salvador band, and the band from Switzerland, and the band from Hong Kong. So we have a great afternoon lineup for you, starting with the Swedish band. So next, El Salvador will entertain us, and we'll be off to the races. Then we all go over to the field for the field parade competition. And if you've never seen it, I really urge you to go, because it's pretty unique. And some bands flourish in that, some flourish in the concert band, some really do well in the field show, so everybody has their strengths. And we're looking for the grand champion of someone who can do it all, and that's not an easy task. And if they don't enter all events, of course, you know, that means something too. So we have bands from Canada, and you've seen most of these this morning. I know there's a band from Germany coming in tonight. A very fine band, and they're going to be here tomorrow. They had 4 flights. I think they all went different directions. And getting a band here is tough, just with instruments, the number of people, keeping them together. It's like herding cats in an airport, you know. Where'd so-and-so go? I lost my passport. You know, you just don't appreciate what these directors go through to get the kids here. Well, hopefully you do. And again, thank you for the help you offered for Poland. They're excited to be here. Poland is a beautiful country. And I was fortunate enough to be there a couple weeks ago judging, and the Polish people they're just wonderful. And you know, they're right on the border of Ukraine, and they have friends and family there. It's just a weird situation, but You know, Poland was destroyed in the war, as Hamburg, Germany was, and so many of those cities were totally destroyed, and they're thriving, bustling communities. And it's just great how the people build back and everything. So, and they're people just like us. So sometimes we don't know that. We live in our little world. We go to this grocery store, we go to that post office, we go to that school, and we might take a vacation to Pittsburgh or Dallas or Washington, D.C. or Florida, but we never really get out of our little realm. So when you go around to other countries, you see people are just like us. They just want to live in freedom, and they want to enjoy their life and work hard and educate their children. And if they can get them in a subject like band or music, any music, it's just icing on the cake. They turn out to be better citizens and productive in the community. So I'm running out of speech. I could probably talk forever after a career of teaching 34 years. What is unique is to see the uniforms of each of the countries and their traditions. I love this. Okay, the next band is from El Salvador, Buenos Verdes. Their conductor is Mr. Renzo Fuentes. They're going to play Canto en Opico, Mi Pies, and Cumbachero. We look forward to your performance. And Mr. Fuentes, we welcome you to the stage.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are Buenos Verdes marching band from San Juan Opico, El Salvador, the smallest country in America. So, all the songs we're gonna play this afternoon are not just ones that sound great, but they have a meaning why we choose them. The first one of all, it's our hometown anthem, and it's called Canto Opico, because our city is called San Juan Opico. One of the most important phrases that this song has is Opico is the nest of dreams. And it was written by one of the most famous writers in El Salvador, which is Pancho Lara. So we hope you enjoy it. Have you ever feel like you're not home or you're far away from you are? Well, this is the meaning of the song we're about to play. It represents our country, El Salvador, and it was written by one of the most famous groups in there, which is called Los Hermanos Flores. But we have chosen this song because in the United States, there's a lot of Salvadoran population. And they, for any reason, some of them cannot go to El Salvador. But when they listen to this song, they feel like they are home. So we're bringing them home. And we hope you enjoy it, because it's called Mi País, which means my country. Rhythms, because Latin America is characterized by having a lot of different danceable rhythms. So we were choosing which song to play that represents most of them. Obviously, we cannot represent them at all because we have a limited time, but I think this is one of the most representative songs of it. So it's called the Cumbanchero. The first one represents the London 2023 parade we assisted in this year to New Year. So it's a song by a Britain group called Coldplay. The song is called Glocks. I think most of you know the song. And the other one is called Sugar Sugar from the Archies. That old show from the 60s, 70s, you know. It turned out to be top 1 in the United States for a long time. And a fun fact is that the band does not really exist in real life. And they turned out to be top 1. So we hope you enjoy it. And we've chosen that song because it means that everything can be possible. Every band can reach top 1 even if it not exists. So we hope you enjoy it.
There we go. The Green Berets from El Salvador. And thanks to the young lady who introduced the tunes. That was very, very special and very appreciated. So I haven't been reading the biographies of the band because I think all of you were there last night and heard those. So I did want to reiterate, but I will speak to some of these things. I think it's important. Bands in so many of these countries and communities, it's used as a way to save the teenagers. There's so many things they can get into that's bad. Drugs, everything else. The bands give them a place to be. It's a family. And you know that if you've had experience in bands. So I know there's a good friend in Brazil, and he's on a mission to get kids in band to save their lives and give them direction. Buenos Verdes was founded in 2002. That's not very long ago, with the aim of unifying children and young people from different educational and social backgrounds to work towards a common goal. So important. They support aspiring musicians who may not have access to music classes and help to integrate them into spaces to provide better opportunities. The program began bearing fruit in both the municipality and throughout the country, where they participated in parades, presentations, holidays, and everything. They won first place in Guatemala. They've been to Costa Rica. They do a lot of traveling within Central America, and that's wonderful. Attending events like this gives bands an opportunity to hear others of what they're doing, and they say, wow, we need to do better in this area, or we need to do this or do that. It's a learning experience. I remember the first time going to hear a band from Uruguay. They were really struggling, and they were just beginning. And 2 or 3 years later, when we heard them, it was like, wow, it's a different band. So a picture is worth 1,000 words. You've heard that. Well, hearing another band perform is also the same thing. So these bands from other countries get to see what's happening in Central America, what's happening in Switzerland, Sweden, Germany, and all around the world. It's a learning experience. Every time they go, every time they step onto the field or the stage, they're learning. Unfortunately, I wish they could all stay and hear the other bands in concert. That usually doesn't happen. They hear each other on the field. It would be nice to have places for them to stay, at least 1 or 2 bands, to hear the other groups perform. The band a moment ago from Sweden. I'll talk about the band from Switzerland coming up in a moment. So the next band is from Muttal, Switzerland, I believe. Let's see, with this slogan and a name that plays off Swiss domain like the American.com. So the Swiss domain is .ch. So this is showband.ch. I'm in a show band. Let me get to the concert. My bad. Showband Les Amourins, Switzerland. The showband is an ensemble of 38 young ambassadors of the city of Muttal, Switzerland, which for more than a century has allowed hundreds of young people to live their passion in music and parade with all curiosity and enthusiasm of their youth, both in Switzerland and abroad. Thus carrying the name of Muttal beyond the borders of the region and the country. It has many characteristics that make it original and sought-after ensemble. Young musicians aged 10 through 20, special instrumentation, young students trained by the older ones. I was talking to you earlier about Japan. They do the same thing. The older student teaches the younger student. A modern repertoire arranged and renewed each year by the musicians themselves. So they write their own music. Original shows reworked each year, the iconic shimmering red and green historical costume, and a high level of discipline in both practice and ranks hearing performances. And I think when they march or play any of these bands, you see a high level of discipline. It takes that to be dedicated and rehearsed. If you're here during the day, these bands go out and practice the rest of the day, out in the heat. And then they're at night out there practicing, probably waking up the neighbors at 7 in the morning with drums. You know, some of you may have experienced that. But it takes a lot of discipline and work ethic to pull these off. So the band from Switzerland, I enjoyed their uniforms last night, the red and green. I think that they looked like velour. It had to be kind of warm in West Virginia heat, but I'm sure they're very comfortable in Switzerland. So from the Matterhorn to the mountains of West Virginia, mountains are the same, right? Well, almost. Not much snow here.
Well, sorry.
So they come on here in a few minutes, and I don't have any more bad jokes. I'm just going to get off the microphone, let your minds rest for a little bit to absorb what all you've heard today, and be picking out the bands you think were the best. We won't have a vote, but we might have an audience poll. That would be kind of fun. We might have you close your eyes and just lift your hand, you know, see who you think is best. I think audience appeal is part of it. They have to appeal to you emotionally or energetically or whichever, or a combination of the both. And I think you all probably have your favorites by now. But the day is not over. 2 more bands, Switzerland and Hong Kong. This is the pause that refreshes.
Jag stod precis bredvid han med fagotten igår som är nästan på som bara, yes, you know, we have a fagott team. She thinks, oh, excited when she saw you. Ja, vet du vad folk heter på engelska? Rassing. Jo, men visst var det in Swedish, no.
What do you call those?
Men man kan gå, man får den. Vad jag har sett. Jag ska 2 nybörjare. Det ska bli så kul. Det jag har spelat också. Om vilken. Nej, vi har 5 stycken. Jag köper in det finns. Men jag var gissat så. Jag hoppade in och tvingade in mig själv på den sista konserten skulle göra det. Isak Hahn, jag vet inte, han skulle uppföra sin symfoni. Så var det så ganska svårt. Ja, sen skulle han själv göra. Han spelade en jättebra. Han skulle också göra den här spelaren då. Så kan du hoppa in och ta piano då? Ja, vad ska du göra? Ja, men jag kan spela. Vad gott, tänkte jag. Jag tyckte jag sagt det. Dum i huvudet får man göra det. Jag stod och spelade. Jag tyckte 2 timmar om dagen för bara att lära mig hur instrumentet är ut med 9 knappar. Det är 5 knappar på oss och sen att det kombineras ihop. Ja, men har jag det. Hoppa in och det där. 5 betes.
I think they're getting ready. Limitless energy.
Åh, du är snäll, det är jag.
Okay, this is the Les Marine Band from Switzerland, and they're going to perform 3 pieces. First one is Grace Kelly, next one is Final Countdown, and the third one is Naruto. Their conductor is Andre Lechty.
Now we're going to play Final Countdown from Europe. last song is Naruto.
about 12 minutes before the next band, but did you see their smiles when you stood up? You know, as a performer, you wait for the audience to respond, and when you clap, that's nice. But when you stand, you see those smiles, and everybody just brightens up. They know they pleased you. That's really important. So thank you for that great response. The judges are busy up there. So I don't know if they're picking out soloists today or not. I hope they are, recognizing outstanding soloists and musicians. We've certainly heard a lot today. And we have one more band to go from Hong Kong. It's called the Twist Men Winds. Twist Men. Interesting. So we'll read about them and just give you a little break. And this will be a good time. There's a little bit of break here. 12 minutes, so if you need to run out, you can come back. Hong Kong, called the Twistman Winds. It's a very unique concert ensemble group that specializes in animated scores and theme music covers. The studio prides itself on arranging and producing all of their music that they love. When COVID took its toll on these championships, there's one man that stepped out, Jimmy Wong from Malaysia, who's here. Stand up, Jimmy. Yes, Jimmy Wong. He hosted in 2020 the first virtual band championships. There were bands from all over the world. This band won the silver prize, and then later they won the gold. So bands were still participating during COVID. They were spaced out, and they would do each individual, and they would perform and put it all together. It was really unique, and Jimmy was a forerunner in having those virtual contests. So the Twistmen, they won the Malaysia International Virtual Band Championships in 22, fourth prize at the first annual Tiziano Rossetti International Music Competition in Italy at 22. So band is well traveled. Their conductor is Kill Man. And they're going to play Kickback, Chainsaw Man, Hamura, and The Blessing Mobile Suite. So, Kenny, did you ever think you'd have a band from Hong Kong and Switzerland and Sweden sitting in your auditorium in town? Pretty unique. Yes. Okay. I noticed we had another judge who's going to be involved a little later in the field competition come in to listen to some concert bands. Andrea Sioni, where's Andrea? There she is. Andrea's from Canada. Hey. Welcome, Andrea. And, Mr. Mann should be coming forth soon. Lots of electronics to hook up. Ready? Okay, where is Mr. Mann? Okay, so please welcome Mr. Mann to the podium.
2.
Thank you very much, Twistmen. We enjoyed your performance today. That concludes our concert portion. The field parade begins at 4 o'clock over at the stadium. Bring your umbrellas and enjoy these bands. We have a good lineup. There will be 10 bands. 10 bands beginning at 4 o'clock. Thank you for coming today. Bye-bye. Be safe.